that stuff I sent you, by the way?
This morning? Was it the thing this morning?
Yeah, that one.
I didn't get to read the one from this morning. I did get that. And I sent you some stuff last night, too.
I guess I need to get my microphone.
You may want to get your microphone going and rock it and roll it away.
Rocking and the rolling and the woody knot. All right, here we go. Got it ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Live from VentureX Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
All right, man. Good morning and happy Friday.
All right, man.
You may be, well, dude, I'm
All
ready
right,
to flex
man.
my muscle, man.
Man.
Come on, dude. Let's get it together, dudette.
Wow.
You know, dudette never really took off. Did you notice that?
No, it was huge back in the day.
You think so? I didn't think it took off.
You were a dude, so you wouldn't know. I was a dudette. I knew.
But so, I mean, how
It
long?
was ginormous.
How
back
long
in the
did it
day.
last, though?
Oh gosh, I was gonna say college, high school is when we started saying it.
But did it
Lasted through college and even to when I was first teaching at Plano East.
Was it just because you're like off the charts fun like I am, or
I don't know, but I called my girlfriends and I called each other dudette all the time for
Really?
years.
Okay, really,
like,
for years.
And you know, okay, so I'm. Well, now back in the day, I was actually on time to the cool trending parties. Like if, you know,
Right.
epic fail or something, I wouldn't have been 5 years late. You know,
Right.
back when I was 17, 18. Like when as I say, as I prepare myself to talk like a valley girl, like, oh my gosh, gag me with a spoon. Totally on
Easy,
time
I
for
might.
that.
I
yeah,
might.
totally on time for that. Yeah, so back in the day, I was on the leading edge of trending things. Now I'm like 5 years behind. But then I have always had a bad habit of taking those trends and making them last way longer than they should. To
no,
where everybody's like, and you can see that.
yes.
Epic fail when I finally caught up to
Ooh,
it. I
yes.
still say epic fail.
Hello.
I can hear you.
There's an
Yeah,
echo. Wonder where that came from.
I don't know. Sounds like you're in a well.
I know,
Are you
right?
baby Jessica? What?
All right, so hey, good morning, though, right?
That did take off, but you probably just didn't notice it because you were a dude.
Well, now, of course, you're just a wee bit older than I am,
Yes.
and so
well, you're just a mere 49.
right, and you're a mere 52.
No, 54, honey.
Are you really that? I didn't know you were 54.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be darned.
You celebrated my birthday.
Well, I know I celebrated it, but I don't know why I thought you were 52. The feedback is my speaker right there. I got to move my speaker. So everybody, hey, by the way, first of all, good morning.
Of all, good morning to
Sorry
the
we're
crew.
late this morning, but
JP's running the show. Shambriel's running a little bit late.
Shamriel's
this
running a
morning.
little late, and I got a little surprise, and so here we go.
Yeah, so JP
We're on.
put the studio together within at least
15 minutes.
Yeah, before 15 minutes.
That's not true. 20 minutes, because I had some technical difficulties. But anyways, we're up and running. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Hopefully
we
you're
love
having a
you.
good
Happy
Friday.
Friday.
Hey, by the way,
Super Bowl weekend.
okay, so we know that newscasters, professional up top, personal on the bottom. So they'd stand up and they're boxers.
Can
know.
Can you, I don't know if anybody can see.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, you can see your Uggs. Yeah, there were boots there.
There's some Uggs.
There's boots there.
It's
So,
like, why'd you do
but
that?
my point is, like, they would stand up and you could see them in their underwear walking around because they forgot they're on camera, right?
Oh, which is bad newspapers.
Yeah, we have got to put together a series of 2021 really bad Zoom.
Or 2020, you mean?
No, 2021 this year. Put together this year.
There's already been enough, and we're not even into we're barely into February.
Yes. So here's my thing, right? Like, I've got to get up and I have got to move this speaker because I've got feedback coming through, right? So what I really should do is turn the camera on you, right?
Okay.
Because that's what you should do, because you don't need to see my belly and my groin and all that, right? But
Welcome to the weekend with JP, Kathy, and the crew.
But people don't realize that. And so they stand up and you see their crotch and you see their gut, and it's hilarious.
People turn away and they think on like a Zoom call, if I always try to put myself back to non-camera, like, turn the camera off if I'm going to blow my nose or if I'm going to take, big old drink of water or coffee or whatever the case may be. But a lot of folks will think they'll turn like this way and kind of go like this, thinking they're completely off camera and they're taking care of business with their nose. and you can see that.
Right. So I'm back now, though.
So
No gut, no crotch shot.
There you go.
Although I think it's a nice crotch shot, but I'm not.
Good times,
I'm not
man.
going to give it to you.
Good times. No, we're not on this show.
Well, maybe,
on this
but not
station.
today, anyways.
Well, it's just funny that people. I think we've just gotten so used to doing stuff and working at home and being more casual. I mean, people wear, again, tons of times I've been on Zoom calls in yoga or pajama pants. Sometimes my dog's in my lap. You can't see her because of the camera angle. And, but I've got like a nice jacket and my hair's in a bun. I think that's just kind of the way of the world. And I think we've gotten so used to it that we forget. And then we go about our business. I'll never forget the story of our friend Deanna, who we just love. Deanna Kirkendall, we love you. Accidentally sucked a little bug in her mouth while she was talking on a Zoom call. Didn't realize she was still on audio. Got sick. Went to the bathroom, got sick because she was so grossed out that happened. Yeah. So she put that out there on Facebook, or else I would not be telling that story.
Sure.
Because Deanna's very refined.
Right.
She's a very classy lady. But it just still kind of cracks me up.
Well, I just think it's interesting. So here's where I'm going with this, right? So I'm in a Zoom call. I do a lot of business now by Zoom, like everybody else.
Yeah.
So this guy is standing up, and he's talking to other people, and we're actually in the same room. And it looks like he's about to give birth. He's got one of those little baby guts.
Yeah.
And he keeps moving around, and you can see where it all starts and ends, and you can see his little belt and his little crotch area. And he's just...
Oh, he's standing up.
Yeah.
And so the Zoom camera's...
Yeah, catching all the other
level.
business. Right.
Okay.
And so that's pretty funny.
Okay.
Well, then, so check this out. This gets even funnier. So then we've got these women on, and women out there abroad, unless you're just wanting your breasts to be the center part of a Zoom call, know what you're doing with your camera angle when you do it. So this woman who is well endowed in the breast area takes her camera, because I don't know if she's talking to somebody or what, and moves her camera down. And it's now on her boobs. And she's got big boobs,
so she
right?
angled the camera
down, because she must be doing something here, right? She must be talking or doing something here. And so I've got these boobs on the screen, and some of her cohorts are looking at, because some of them are with me here, some of them are in Houston, some of them are in here, there. And so this woman is in another part of the state, puts the camera down on her boobs. And again, big boobs. And so you know how it is with shirts, right? She's got a nice blouse, nice coat, but it does split
a little bit,
just a wee bit, right?
Safety pins are my best friend.
Right, because blouses were not made with big boobs in play.
Yeah, with the second and third button, you have to put a safety pin.
Yeah, she didn't. So we're getting a clear shot of cleavage.
Oh, cleavage on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Did somebody finally say...
Well, I don't know if anybody said anything to her. I didn't want to embarrass her in front of her staff and everything else. So, hey, Kevin. So then she puts the camera back on her face. Well, then she stands up. And it's like, now we've got a picture of her crotch staring right at us for about 3 or 4 minutes. So then she sits back down. So then, towards the end of the call, she stands up again, turns around and bends over to pick something up. So now we've got this molded impression of her butt and the crack of her butt. Because she's in a skirt.
Oh, is she listening to the show today?
Who knows? I don't know. But she kept showing her boobies, and I'm like, someone's got to tell, and highly educated, by the way. So someone's got to tell her. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you. I can't tell you. I don't want to get in trouble for sexual harassment.
I was going to say, here's the thing, like, I would want, if I had a situation like that going on, and I'm like you, tons of Zoom calls, if there was a guy who I worked with who was either a friend of mine or somebody who I trusted professionally, I would hope they would let me know, like, Kathy, you may want to turn your camera off. Just something as simple as that. And then you're like, oh my goodness. But I think if I were a dude nowadays, I'd be scared to death.
Gosh, yes.
I'm sitting here trying to think, if my husband, who does a ton of Zoom calls as well, works from home now with the pandemic, I don't think him, and my dad is working from home too as well on a job, and I'm sitting here thinking, I think both of them would be fearful to say something, even to a close coworker.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from the crew. We've got several gentlemen on this morning. Coach Quigley, would you be nervous about that? Doug Shockey, would you be nervous about that?
I would be.
Fred North,
well, I
would
was.
you be nervous about that?
I was nervous about it because I'm like, and this is where I'm going with, I guess. I'm waiting for a Zoom sexual harassment claim that goes to court.
And you know it's coming. You know something somewhere is coming. Somebody took a screenshot somewhere, and that's coming.
Well, and again, I go with this, right? We know it's coming because of the way of our politic right now. And here's the
Lord
thing.
have
I know it's
mercy.
Friday,
Goodness
but
gracious, we're gonna have some fun. Don't worry. But we
but I got to
we'd
throw
be
this stuff out.
remiss. By the way, I'm glad you're feeling better. Glad Chambrielle's
Thank you.
feeling better.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, when could they catch the repeat of Chambrielle's show from last night? That was they had.
I have to remember I think Tuesdays is when
Okay.
Chambrielle throws it back on there.
But it is available on social media.
First of all,
right now.
Tea Talk is an amazing show.
Tell you,
I love it.
I only got to catch the last 20
love the
minutes
energy
last
of it.
night, and those girls were on fire. They did a phenomenal job. They were talking about the different love languages. I love how they start their show with the scripture, end their show with the scripture, and they'll talk about anything and everything in between. And they were celebrating Black History Month, talking about paying it forward. Had just a great talk about, are you confident enough in yourself to go and eat at a restaurant or go see a movie by yourself?
Here's
Great show.
So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off politically because I don't understand, and I really don't, because I truly am able to see both sides, and there are some times that I agree with the other side versus what I consider my side, or my politic. I've got no problem floating on what I believe is right.
Oh, you've always been brutally honest about, hey, I know people think this, but I think this. It's interesting. Doug Shockey said he would be more nervous in a work setting.
Yeah. Oh,
Coach
absolutely.
Quigley said he would not be nervous. He said he would actually think about leaving the Zoom call and then maybe catch up with them later. I think if it were just the two of you, yeah, I think I would say, hey, I'm having technical difficulties, and I would shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just something else.
You just have to think twice.
Yeah, I mean, it is something else.
Yeah.
That is for sure. So let's do our hellos before we get into politics. Hello, Big Fred, Michelle. Where's Gail? Hey, Doug. Yo, Coach.
Shay.
Marty.
Shay
From
Drake.
Maryland. There you go.
Fred.
Hey, Shay, we love you, brother. We're thinking about you and your brother out there. So good morning to the crew. Kevin, what's up? What's up? Where's Marvin, by the way? We know he got out of jail. Where's the Marvin?
He's
Where's
out of
Lisa?
Facebook jail.
Where's Lisa this morning? Where's the crew?
Gail?
I don't know. I don't see them. And then let's see. We've got we're missing Ann and Cleo, and so good morning to everybody. Here's my big thing, right? My big thing. I'm going to lay the premise with this. I'm going to kick it back to you. Then I'm going to use some of the news stuff that I've been reading.
Right.
So, at what point in time do we seriously say we are in a movement to shut down any oppositional voice and streamline an agenda to take over this country? And I'm going to kick it to you and let you respond and reflect on that.
I think we are well on that way. We have got
Elizabeth's here too. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth. Yeah, she said she's got a student whose dad walks around without a shirt during his Zoom.
In the background.
I'm like, no, let's not. No. We have come to a really sad state in our country, in my humble opinion. I think, and this is just, again, my opinion, that if you're not really careful about what you post, what you say, what you put out there, what you might have said in the past, before you got into office or before you got into some kind of more public role, that everything's fair game. But I think it's everything's fair game, and it's one-sided. I go back and I'm trying to find her exact quote. Oh shoot! I'll try to look for this while you're telling your story. But Maxine Waters, back 2 years ago, and this is when Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, and his wife and a number of other conservative members of Congress or the Senate were being harassed by people, including our then press secretary, who's now running for governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, were getting harassed at restaurants. Were
Right. Didn't Sarah Sanders get spit on or something?
Oh, yeah, and we're told, and you can't come into this restaurant anymore. And Maxine Waters, a Democrat, 2 years ago said, keep it up. I want crowds around these people. And I'm going to find her exact quote. I know she had, no sympathy. She was encouraging people who did not support the Republican ideals to form crowds, intimidate, scare, harass. And I want to look up her exact words because they should be coming back to bite her and the Democrats, but they're not. And right now you've got AOC, quite possibly, and I'm reading a number of articles on this right now because I want to make sure we report this accurately, but it looks like there is the potential that she has embellished the truth about what actually happened when the Capitol was under siege on January 6th. Now they're starting to say, that's
You saying Waters or AOC?
No, this is AOC.
Yeah, okay.
And Waters is from 2 years ago. That just, again, shows the hypocrisy of the fact that, okay, so you've stripped a Republican congresswoman of her committees because of things she said before she was in Congress that she has since said, no, this isn't true, or this is true, or even some of it she just either liked a comment or did a thumbs up or whatever the case may be. That's coming back. And the Democrats are going full force on that, have already stripped her of all of her, them along with 11 Republicans have stripped her of her committee assignments. But yet when Maxine Waters was in Congress, it still is, what she called for as a congresswoman, which I thought, my goodness, she's inciting violence against the opposition, if you will, in Congress. And everybody gave her a hall pass. Everybody's like, well, good for her.
Well, they encouraged it.
They did. So
They encouraged it.
Again, I get stuck, JP, on the same thing I've been getting stuck on ever since, I started doing this show with you. And that is the hypocrisy. So it's either going to be both ways for both sides or not.
So call in 214-494-1244.
That's 214-494-1244.
Or get on our feeds and give us your opinion on this. What are we at a point where it has somehow become acceptable for all voices to be extinguished if they're not a part of the squad's voice? And it's hilarious. Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer. I mean, all these guys are taking cues from Ilhan Omar and AOC.
Six extreme liberals.
And it just blows me away. And I don't remember. I know that President Trump would say fake news.
Yes.
But I don't remember anybody trying to extinguish the voice of the opposition.
Obviously, we didn't, because the whole time that they were asking for impeachment, and they had the Russian this and all the different things that went down since literally before President Trump was sworn in as President Trump, nobody stopped that. That was the major news. That was all over social media. That was all over the, regular news channels and the cable news channels. And nobody tried to stop that. But here we have, okay, now Democrats are back in control. And this is how our country goes, y'all. We swing. The pendulum swings from one extreme to the other. I would imagine if Biden continues on with some of the decisions he's making, we will most likely win the House back, the Senate, one or both in 2022. This is just the way our country goes. And that's kind of, I think, Joe Public's way of trying to keep things right somewhere in the middle where they feel safer. But it's to the point where you can't speak out against. I've got friends who are like, I'm tired of posting anything political on social media because they're getting thrown in, quote unquote, Facebook jail. We've a number of members of the crew because they've put their opinion out there, and then Facebook deems it false facts or whatever that little pop-up is that comes up there.
Right.
They're like, you know what? I'm just not going to comment on anything politically anymore.
Well, Facebook shut me down on being able to share my post because they felt that it may be spam. Even though, and I sent them an appeal, and I said, this is my company.
Right.
Right. Hey, Ann, thanks for putting the YouTube out there. This is my company.
Yep.
And this is how I generate revenue to take care of my family, and it's not spam. These groups asked me,
invited me
to be a part of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where am I going with my question? Here's where I'm going. And I lay these out, and I can't understand why. First of all, I don't understand why liberals think that this is a possibility, because 75 million people still voted for President Donald Trump and voted Republican. It's not like it was a landslide victory here.
Well, we did not, obviously we didn't win the House. We made gains in the House.
And we'll make more gains in the House now.
I agree. In 2022, I think we've got a whole different scenario. But I want to say, and I need to look up the exact statistic, but there were literally, I think, less than 5 seats that we were trying to win in the House that we won the majority of the seats, even seats that they said there's no way y'all are going to win this seat from a Democrat, and we did. So, and I look, well, heck, here in Collin County, where I was victory co-chair, we ended up having bigger gains for our state reps who barely eked out victories 2 years ago. Congressman Van Taylor had a much larger margin of victory. Senator Cornyn, up and down the list, we had bigger. Even with our district judges, we had, 6, 7, 8 points. We had much larger victories than we had 2 years ago. So you can't deny that the country really is split down the middle.
So, okay, my turn now. Go read.
Go right ahead.
Read.
I'm trying to find those comments.
I'm trying to get us hooked up onto Switcher. I want to share some articles, but let's start off with the My Pillow guy.
Oh,
okay.
My goodness. Yep.
My turn.
No, I know it's your turn, but I just have to say, oh my goodness.
But this is how I lay this out by facts. I don't want to get into I just say it, I'm not on radio, a pissing contest with people in regards to them saying, oh, but, that's the freedom of speech. Okay, here's the thing. I'm all about competition. All about competition. Here, this 20-year-old from Parkland, the Parkland shooting in Florida, and again, that is extremely tragic, is partnering up with a guy to intentionally go after the My Pillow guy to put him out of business because of his voice. Because he supports President Trump. He supports pro-gun. And so because he's a conservative, because he's vocal, we are going to, instead of just being a competitor.
That's fine.
Right. No, we're going to put him out of business.
And also he commented in that article you sent me, he had said that he was upset that the My Pillow, Mike Linder had I think that's Mike Linder, is that his name?
Correct.
He had continued to put out social media posts saying that the election was fraudulent, which, again, you poll most Americans and you're probably going to have a 50-50 split on where people fall on thinking the election's fraudulent. And again, there's no problem with competition. Rock and roll. And if you've got a better pillow, great.
Right. And I'm all about competition.
But why set out to destroy
somebody? But they're set out to destroy him because of his voice. They want to see a more progressive society. This was also part of his tweet, that he's going to push a progressive agenda into the business community. And just very flat out, this is what we're doing. And it's very audacious. And so I'm making a call out. I don't even work. I need to work for this guy, I guess. Every conservative needs to go buy a My Pillow.
We're buying one this weekend. We've purchased his products before, and they're great products. Buying at least a pillow, maybe some sheets this weekend.
But we do. We have got to go out and, as conservatives, keep conservative business leaders in business, and we need to go out and buy a My Pillow so that this liberal attempt, this liberal company, doesn't get to decide that they're going to shut down other businesses because of their politics. Bed Bath & Beyond, and Kohl's have dropped My Pillow because of the pressure from these progressives that have threatened to put people out in front of their stores marching on them to shut down My Pillow. This is, how do we not see that these are threats and an assault on America?
It is.
I don't understand. But why are we not? I get that you got this whole movement of anti-Trump and we don't like Trump and all that, but how does that translate into we now get a free card on being able to go out and commit an assault on a businessman because of his political views?
Right.
instead of his product.
Right.
I mean, the My Pillow is a good product. A little expensive for my taste, but a good product nonetheless.
Well,
And so it doesn't make any sense to me.
it's almost like you've got these companies that are being forced. And My Pillow was always a very prominent display at both Bed Bath and Beyond. Actually, that's where I bought my first My Pillow, was Bed Bath and Beyond. Kohl's, you know, I remember around Christmas time shopping there. And interestingly enough, I'm getting ready to buy an air fryer, air cooker with an air fryer, I think is what that's called.
Right.
And was going to go to Kohl's, but now since they're not carrying My Pillow, I'm going to go somewhere else and buy my air fryer. You know, I like Kohl's. I've always shopped there for years, but I'm upset that they didn't stand up to the scrutiny. What's happening is these companies, JP, they're being bullied.
Yes, very much so.
The American public is being bullied, and we're just sitting there taking it instead of going and saying, you know what, this isn't okay, and let's all stand up and let's all go out and, you know, buy a My Pillow, or let's, you know, where's the liberal media speaking against this kid who's basically saying, I'm coming to get this man and his company. And Mike Lindell has a compelling personal story where, you know, he came to know God. He was a drug addict. I mean, was, you know, just, you know, at his last opportunity to help his family, pulled his life around, turned his life around, has become this inspirational businessman. So because he's a businessman, can he not say what he thinks? There are people who were at the January 6th rally, and even though they weren't the ones who were agitators and went into the Capitol, or they didn't break any laws, when their company found out they had been at that rally, JP, they were fired.
Right.
So this is happening in America. How is that happening? When I hear stories like that, I think, yeah, that's another country. But it's in our own backyard.
It is, and I don't understand why it is. You can go to a BLM Antifa rally, profess violence, commit violence, and for some reason it's okay. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand. People aren't getting fired. You don't hear companies firing people. And so I don't get it. So I start off with My Pillow as an example of where the progressive movement,
right.
And this 20-year-old's very clear because he's anti-gun, and I get it. I mean, I understand the Parkland, Florida high school
he was in a school shooting. That's horrific. God bless him.
Okay, but now we're going to use that.
Now you can take down another company?
Well, here's what my thing is now you're climbing on the backs of those students and those faculty members that lost their life in a very, very serious moment. And now we're using that to climb on those people's dead backs to promote a progressive movement and take people out of business. I get the March for Life. I get the March for Life. But the hypocrisy of using other people, which just absolutely upsets me.
Like March for Life, like the pro-life
That's
movement?
No. That's the student march that was created to.
Is that called March for Life?
Yeah, I believe it's called March for Life. I'll have to go look it up. But it makes me want to break down in tears of anger because you're using other people, because those people may not believe the way that you believe. They may not believe that you should be allowed to take out a company because you're upset with that person's political dogma. Because guess what? When it's all said and done, it's your political dogma as well. So does that mean that when we take over power, we need to extinguish you?
It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
Maybe that boy didn't read John Stuart Mills. Maybe he should read some John Stuart Mills and understand how our country works. Go to the Soviet Union, a.k.a. Russia, if that's what you want.
See how it works for you. You know,
this stuff, I'm telling you, I'm way upset about this stuff.
And as we should be. And here's the thing. It's coming. The Republicans, we obviously don't, you know, now granted, I know there are people who didn't like what President Trump put on Twitter. I get it. JP, you were one of those that you didn't necessarily like his commentary on Twitter. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact he was a phenomenal president. He put America first. But I'm sitting here thinking about the Ted Cruzes of the world, the Van Taylors of the world, you know, the different, Louis Gohmert, the different, senators and congressmen who, when the other side, when we were in power, we didn't stop anybody from saying, we didn't try to go after companies. Coach Quigley said that H-E-B and Kroger have dropped My Pillow. And then
so here I come, Safeway and Tom Thumb.
Well, and here Fred said, I wonder how long they're going to last in Texas. how well their business is going to do in Texas. Because again, a purchase I would have made at Kohl's sometime in the next week or so to get an air fryer, a purchase probably, or I might have made at Bed Bath & Beyond, 2 places that I like. Will not be making that purchase. And I think air fryer is like, what, about $100?
Something like that.
That's going to be money they're going to lose out on from me and my family. I'm going to go online to the MyPillow site and order a MyPillow product. Kira, you might have a new little pillow coming, because I know they have them for puppies too. Because that's going to be my personal stand. Well, then how many other Texans or Americans are going to do the same thing? And well, Goya. Remember that?
Right.
Literally, I went to go and I've always I love their black beans. But anyways, I went to purchase some Goya products, and they were sold out, and the stores that still carried them. So that was a while back. Message me if don't remember that story. Elizabeth said something to you, JP, and this is so true. She said, because JP, common sense has left the building.
Right.
And when you start throwing out common sense, you start pecking away at our freedom.
Well, but here's the thing,
actually hacking away at it.
It's the general population that is allowing themselves to be led like sheep to the slaughter. That's what the problem is. Trust me, this guy from the Parkland shooting, that's not like a common sense. He's got an agenda.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about another agenda. So, and again, I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to lay it all out. Here you go. BLM is now calling for the removal of Republicans in the House.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, here's another agenda. They have teamed up. BLM has teamed up with the squad in a move to expel 100 Republicans from Congress. I'm talking about not in an election.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about a procedural removal
elected
from the
Congressman,
House.
elected by we the people back in their congressional districts. I mean, again, and in Congress, hey, folks, they're up to every 2 years. If you don't like what they're doing, start getting a campaign together and start running somebody against them right now for 2022.
Right.
That's where the founding fathers put into the Constitution the opportunity to remove somebody from Congress.
So we've got MyPillow being targeted now. We have Black Lives Matter, again, going with the squad and telling the squad, we will help you in removing 100 Republicans from Congress, sitting congressmen and women. Now we have Green removed from her committee positions.
Right.
And are you ready for this? And again, you think at first, well, her comments in 1819 were pretty rash and pretty harsh. Okay.
The year 1819 or 18
and 19, sorry.
No, you're talking history too. So.
I know, right? So, but then she gets on the floor and Green says, hey, look, things didn't look right. Sure, I was buying into some of that, but I look back now, yes, all of these things happened. The Parkland shooting happened, 9/11 happened.
Sandy Hook, 9/11.
Yeah, all of it happened, right? And she says, I apologize for that, but again, things weren't looking right. I represent my constituents and what they want. She did all of those things prior to being a sitting congresswoman. Prior to.
Maxine Waters was in office when she called for
correct
harassment, and she was dictating. And again, if somebody can find that for me, I can't find the verbiage. CNN articles keep popping up, so there you go. If somebody can find that for me, because it was very pointed and it was a direct form these crowds, go and harass these people. And she was a long-time incumbent congresswoman when she said all those things.
So now...
Why is that okay then, JP?
Well, because it is okay. Because again, it's amazing to me that people listen to the dogma and the rhetoric of we are for the people. The Democrats are for the people. The squad's for the people. Republicans are the Antichrist. Republicans are demonizing our government. Republicans are, and it's like, no, we're not. The problem is we play nice because we're inclusive, because we did read John Stuart Mills instead of bartending in the Bronx. And so we understand what it takes to make a republic work. And these people are tearing it down one brick at a time. How do I make that argument? Not only did they remove Green from the committee assignments, which she did, made none of those comments or posts while as a sitting congresswoman. So I think that's interesting. Be careful, because you may get your committees stripped from you for something you may have said before you were ever elected. Number 2, here's the slope, folks. And Nancy Pelosi says, I don't see the slippery slope. That's because you're in power. Guess
And
what?
she's
Now
power
they're
hungry.
going after Representative Mace.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you sent me this morning.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Yep.
Nancy Mace, all she said was, we don't have any rioters on our floor. AOC was in the potty, going potty at the time. Mace is 2 offices down from AOC. Mace said, our floor was fine. We were secure. She goes, we just didn't have any rioters on our floor. That is now turned into, we now need to strip Mace, Representative Mace, of all of her committee assignments.
And for what? Because
Oh,
she has
this is something else.
Because she has a different account of AOC, and oh my goodness, how dare anybody have a different account?
Well, and I got one better for you.
I'd like to know what the truth was.
It's not even a different accounting of it. It is what they're using that to say that she is done. They're saying that, I mean, it's amazing what Ilhan Omar and AOC are saying when all she said was they weren't on our hallway. Now, what AOC heard was Capitol Police coming on their floor, screaming about, take care of your business. So this is what Omar, I mean, just amazing to me. Oh, hi, Rep. Omar. Last time we spoke, I was calling you out for your anti-nonsense. Mace responded to Omar on Twitter. Good to be reacquainted. Judge a woman by her enemies, they say. Omar was forced to apologize more than once for her comments as she has made that have been widely seen as anti-Semitic, including linking pro-Israel lobby AIPAC to U.S. lawmakers' support for the country. And then it's all about the Benjamins that she had to apologize for. But here's the thing. This is, tell me how this isn't calling for an insurrection. The definition of the enemy within is members who pose a threat to other members. It's not a reckless statement. That's Ilhan Omar.
Again, if you agree with me, it's all good. If you dare not agree with me, I will intimidate you. So who is the threat? Who's the threat? If you threaten freedom of speech from an elected official, from Joe Public, from anybody, Republican or Democrat, if I don't like your Democrat or liberal rhetoric on Facebook, I just won't read it. If you have put a picture of your puppy or your cute kids out there, I'll give a thumbs up to that. But JP, when we start taking away freedom of speech from either side, we're in trouble. And we're in trouble right now.
And again, Mace is taking the lead on this because when Pelosi makes the comments that threatening other members is unacceptable, to Pelosi's remark about enemies within the House being irresponsible, how is that a bad thing? What is Mace doing to cause upheaval other than calling out the bad rhetoric that's continuing to divide this country?
Well, I think what I see from Mace is trying to get an accurate account. And here's the thing. The other side, accuracy isn't necessarily in their top 10 when they're vetting a story. It's again, because social media put an emotional thing out there. Everybody retweets, everybody freaks out, everybody loses their mind. And then they go back and they find out, oh, well, that wasn't exactly what happened. And everybody's like, oh, never mind. And then they move on. It's that grab you, aha, emotional moment that gets all this news coverage for 24 hours. That's what they're going for, that sensationalism. And
Right.
at some point, don't factual things need to take place? And if you disagree, can't you disagree with somebody and say, well, my account of this was this, without getting your elected by the people position threatened by your peers?
The bottom line is this. The bottom line is that this movement that we've been warning everybody about
For a couple of years
now has legs because they run the 3 bodies of government. All right, the 2 bodies, but and the bottom line is that they are bullies.
Yep.
They are violent. They are, and it's funny because it's like, so Elon Omar and AOC are saying that by Mace saying what she said, she's trying to downplay the January 6th episode.
No.
She's trying to say that it's not that big of a deal. And it's like,
she never said it's not that big of a deal. She just
No.
said on our floor, this is what my account of the situation at that time was.
and that is correct.
What's wrong with that?
Well-
And here's the thing, you and I could be here at Venture X, which by the way, come on out and take a tour. We'll take you around.
That's right.
You could be in one conference room, JP. I could be out in the common area grabbing a cup of coffee, and something could happen outside. My account would be different than yours because I would be, like let's say there was an accident. My account would be different than yours because guess what? I was in a certain area and had a view outside that you did not have. Again, it's not, and I don't think she came out and said AOC lied. I don't even think she went so far as to say that, did she?
No, she didn't
Okay.
say she lied.
Then she's just saying, here is my recollection.
Correct.
What's wrong with that? But again, if we start letting ourselves be bullied and be shoved into a corner, I don't know. I mean, I see the thing that makes America better than any other country is freedom of speech.
Right.
You can come out. You can be a black transgender. Homosexual and want to adopt a child, and people will be like, okay, good for you. Great. You can be a, white, a gay couple, and you can come out and you can say, we want to, have a parade in the city and we want to do this. And we're like, okay, good for you. You can be as liberal and you can be wherever you are. You can come out, you can stand up for Black Lives Matter. You can stand up for QAnon. You can stand up for Antifa. You can stand up for all of these things as long as you're not breaking the law. That's a whole nother tangent.
Right.
But at the end of the day, JP, those are the things. I'm not going to deny somebody else their views or their freedom of speech, because then we cease to be America. Then we're another country where if you come out and you say you're gay, you get stoned in the street.
Right. Well,
if you're a woman and you try to speak against your spouse, your tongue is cut out. Again, where are we going to draw that line?
Well, we have headed towards, and we are on the path for a centralized form of tyranny called the Democratic Party. And the progressives are trying to take this country over. They are targeting patriots and Americans that do
Patriots,
believe
people
in the
who-
republic.
Yes. And who love
so-
our country and who
That's
love our
right.
Constitution.
And I just laid out for you 3 easy to read.
And that's not even the tip of the iceberg.
No. And so look for Mace to lose her appointed committee assignments because the Democrats are in charge. And so now you're going to start, if a Republican speaks out against a Democrat on anything, they will be faced with losing their appointments on their committees because they're threatening to do it with Mace. And Mace didn't even come out against them.
I'm really just baffled. Well, and I want to stick, and I know we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl, and hello to Marty and Julie, Marion, Andrew, Kilroy's Conversation tomorrow here at 8 o'clock. I want to take a word you said, and then let's set it aside, and let's talk about this word every week. You use the word tyranny, and you're not, like, I'm way more emotional than you when I come to my choice of words and things like that. You're very careful in the words you select.
Right.
And you just use the word, and I want to take it and pull it out and set it on a shelf and then come back and talk about it, because I don't think you're exaggerating with this. Tyranny.
No.
And that should be an extremely frightening word to every American. I don't care what your walk of life is, what your religion is, what your ethnic background, your financial background, your place in life, your sexual preferences, your lifestyle choices, black, white, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, wherever you stand, the word tyranny, and I'm getting chills, should scare the holy bejeebers out of you right now. And I want to mark today that we're taking that word tyranny, and we're going to see how far this group that's in charge goes with that, and how far we allow them to go with that.
Yeah. I just know that it's here.
So sitting it over here.
And we've got to pay attention, and we're not. And, Nathan Wynn says the right needs to defend civil liberties. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. What I don't understand as well is why it is okay for what the left is doing. And when we're swallowing this pill, and I don't get it. So, anyways.
Scary stuff.
Yep. I want to talk a minute about Winology. It is time to talk about what's going on here up at Venture X on February the 11th.
Very
Venture X from
this.
6 to 8 p.m. There will be beer, wine, and food. Keynote speaker.
Can you put it on that on our? Can you just put
no, because the switcher's not working.
Okay.
It's saying it's not recognizing my source.
Okay, we'll have to put that in the comments.
Right. And so, anyways.
Or you go to the Venture X Frisco Facebook page, and they've got the event.
Catherine Ann, let me finish the sentence.
Is a great thing.
Yeah, but let me finish. Wait till I'm done, then you go. Goodness gracious.
Take turns.
And I know you didn't take steroids this morning. Stop it.
No, not today. And I only have half a cup of coffee.
Right. Slow down. Slow down. Anyway, as I was saying, Joel Scrivener, keynote speaker, will be here. Hostage negotiator, how to reclaim and realign the vision that 2020 hijacked. You get an audio book with your ticket. And again, you come up, you can get a ticket at the Venture X website, which I've got at the bottom of the screen, Frisco, Texas, friscotx.venturex.com. Go there. Again, Winology, it's a world-class performance. This guy is way, way good. I'm so excited that Leon has brought Joel Scrivener here. Again, February 11th, 6 to 8 p.m., beer, wine, and food. And again, you get an audio book with your ticket. So we want you to come out and meet Joel and get to listen to what he has to say. His book, again, the title is Winology. And Leon has sent me a link to the book, and I've started reading it. Definitely a good read. Highly recommend you pick it up in audio form by buying a ticket and coming up and joining us here at Venture X. And so the Super Bowl. So General Motors has released a commercial.
And GM's the one who's going to be just electric cars by 2035.
Correct. And Will Ferrell is their spokesman, and he tries to get funny, and they have a play on words with Norway, and because Norway is the leading electric car country in the world.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I don't know why we need to compete with Norway.
I was going to say.
First of all, we can fit Norway into Plano, Texas.
Yeah. I mean, and again, okay. Go ahead, yeah. Yeah, when is that our high point? But go ahead.
Yeah. So GM has already released one of their Super Bowl commercials. Kathy, I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to have very good Super Bowl commercials.
Oh, don't say that. That's like, actually, this will be a good game. But a lot of times the Super Bowl commercials are all I'm watching.
And I do think this is going to be a good football game.
It's going to be competitive as all get out.
So that I do look forward to, interestingly enough. But I just don't think the commercials are.
So what's this commercial like?
Well, it's just boring. Basically it's calling out America to pass Norway on purchasing electric cars.
Again, we're the country everybody competes with. Why would we ever lower America's standards? And nothing against Norway, but some Vikings out there, that's all cool. Why would we lower our standards? Why do we have to show America as trying to be better than anybody when we are the comparison for every other country in the world? That's why we're the greatest country on God's green earth. So do they make it funny if it's Will Ferrell? I mean, have you watched the commercial?
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. I'm getting ready to watch it now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring it up, but if you can, I can't get Switcher to work, or I'd bring it up on the big screen and show everybody as well. But again, it's very interesting. I just don't think there's going to be a bunch of commercials. And here's the thing, right?
Or a bunch of good commercials.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl. Why did I do that? So here's what's interesting as well. And I go back to this. Budweiser, not a sponsor.
Yeah, so we have no Clydesdale horses,
right?
Which is always one of my favorites.
Right. Pepsi,
always.
No commercials.
Which is, I mean, gosh, Pepsi had, Cindy Crawford back in the day, and Michael Jackson and Britney Spears, all when they were at the height of their careers. that's I can't even think of a Super Bowl where they didn't have Pepsi or Budweiser, right?
So M&M's is going to be back on the Super Bowl ad campaign.
Haven't they always been?
No, I they took a hiatus.
Oh,
So
wow.
M&M's is going to be back on. So that might be a decent commercial.
Fred said he doesn't think Coke is having one either.
They're not. Coke, Pepsi, and Budweiser not doing commercials. So top 16 leaked Super Bowl commercials.
I do have to say real quick, of course, Michelle, and I love her. She is the most dedicated Chiefs fan ever in a day. She's like, KC, 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 and all her red and yellow hearts. That's just cute. I love that. We love you, Michelle.
So Schneider's, which is a horse supply place, they're not even going to do a commercial.
I don't think I've heard of them, though. Yeah, Budweiser always has great commercials.
They do.
I agree.
So, but it's just not happening.
So I wonder, and then I want to talk, if you're a member of the crew, please put in the comments what your favorite Super Bowl commercial is of all times. I think I would have to go with God Made a Farmer.
Oh, goodness gracious, yes.
It chokes me up just thinking about the commercial.
The Dodge commercial.
Just chokes me up.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Then we will have a big segment on Monday. We will talk about the Super Bowl commercials. We would love to hear from you ahead of time.
Now, Doritos will have their commercial.
Okay, and now some of the Doritos, like I didn't dig. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. They had a commercial where like the dad's in the delivery room eating Doritos. Which, first of all, that's not happening. Ladies, would you have let your husband be crunching on Doritos while you're giving birth? No, that's not happening. But like the baby comes out because of the Doritos or some, I don't know. That was kind of odd. So I'm trying to think, or didn't Doritos have the dancing baby? Who had the puppy baby something?
I don't remember,
or
but
maybe that was
a good
Mountain
commercial.
Dew. That kind of
And
freaked me
McConaughey,
out.
by the way, Matthew McConaughey is the lead on the Doritos commercial.
And I like him.
I do too.
So maybe that'll be better. I don't know.
M&M's.
And are they saying kind of like what the theme is?
They're just going through the top 16 commercials.
Okay.
And the M&M commercial looked like it's going to be pretty decent.
Okay.
But for the most part, and it's $11 million, by the way,
Woo!
per commercial.
That's a lot of guacamole. That's a pretty penny.
That's a lot of guacamole. That's a lot of guacamole, that's for sure.
Michael Scott, The Office.
Yes. Now, Coors will be back on the Super Bowl. And again, but I'm telling you, I don't see
I wonder if Coors, they've got a big commercial thing out right now for their seltzer, and it's like how it saves rivers or puts more water back into rivers or something. So I wonder if it's going to be on that theme.
It is. It's going to be, you hit it right on the head, a Coors seltzer commercial. So, but again, I mean, I'm looking at what they are, and I'm just not impressed.
Oh, here we go. All the 2020, I just found something. All the 2021 Super Bowl commercials, and you know what? They pop up, a picture of Wayne and Garth. Oh, you know what? Now, this may be a good commercial. Wayne's World reunites for the Big Bowl. And you do too. I love Wayne's World.
But see,
Mike
I'm
Myers and Dana Carvey.
hoping they don't politicize.
Oh, they're promoting Uber Eats. Anyway, it says still broadcasting from Wayne's mom's basement in Aurora, Illinois. I love that. Mike Myers and Dana Carvey joined forces once again to promote Uber Eats. The teaser, which for legal reasons cannot be for the Super Bowl, features many of the duo's signature catchphrases like "swing." Okay, I'll be anxious to see that one. I hope we stay away from politics. Everybody's saying we want unity, we want the country to heal, we want to get back together. You know, it's Black History Month. In honor of if you don't want to honor anybody, at least honor Martin Luther King Jr. and take a cue out of his playbook and be peaceful, be decent. You know, the ladies last night on Tea Talk on Chambrielle's show said, right now, just a little bit of kindness from everybody. If everybody put a little more kindness out there into the world when they're treating other people, going from day to day and how they are when they're treating other people, if you can treat people with more kindness, then you know what? that would be a huge shift. That would be a big paradigm shift in our country. So I hope the Super Bowl commercials are not tacky.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to be politicized.
Amazon sexy Alexa, what?
So I'm going to be watching.
Okay, Dolly Parton works.
Yes, now her
5 to
commercial.
9. Now, I love her.
Yeah, I think her commercial will be pretty good. But again, I'm just, you know what? There's just a lot of lackluster. Driving by, I'm seeing a lot of bars and clubs that are advertising their Super Bowl party on their signs, and I just don't know that I'm seeing a lot of response. I called and spoke to one of the bartender members, managers at one of the places off of 75, and they said that they have not had the response that they normally have, that people are staying home. They're not going anywhere. And so, and again, how does tyranny take form? Through fear. And we have just, with the pandemic and with everything that's been shoved down our throats, and then with, all these different, and again, I get it, Facebook, Twitter, all these things are, private companies. I get that. But at some point when you start, again, if you're going to shut political discussions down, shut them down on both sides. If you're going to shut hate speech down, shut it down on both sides. Okay, so this may be really funny. Matthew McConaughey is ? Flat. Okay, so Flat Stanley? Right.
I think it's going to be Doritos is going to do it.
Oh, yeah, because they're 3D.
Matthew, that's funny.
Because they're doing 3D Doritos.
And he's going to be the horrifying 2D version of himself.
Yes.
That might be really funny.
Yes. So let's talk about the game for a minute.
Oh, yes. The reason the Super Bowl exists.
Yeah. Do the Kansas City Chiefs really have the beat on being able to win a back-to-back Super Bowl? Does Pat Mahomes, does the offensive line,
crazy talented.
Do they have enough to win this football game? Can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers keep up in a high-scoring game? That's the big question, because here's the deal, right? No matter how good your defense is, and this is what the Chiefs have proven, we're going to put points on the board.
Here, I won't predict a winner in this game because I really don't know. I think you've got a very talented, first of all, 2 incredible quarterbacks. Tom Brady obviously destined, for the Hall of Fame. Pat Mahomes just starting his career and just amazingly talented. Both of these guys are not just talented football players, they are talented, inspirational leaders. And I think that shows. I think that's why Tampa Bay's there. I think it's going to be a good game. And I'm looking forward to the competition between those 2 quarterbacks.
So here's the thing. You're calling them GOAT and Baby GOAT.
Oh, interesting. Greatest of all time.
Yes,
okay,
there you
gotcha.
go. So, yeah, you got Baby GOAT playing the GOAT. And so and that really, for me, the only factor that comes into this game where Tampa Bay has a chance is if Tom Brady finds that fountain of youth and can dial back 10 years and bring that game into this game. To me, Tom Brady's the game changer. Defense wins games, but their defense they're not the 1985 Chicago Bears defense. One of the greatest defenses of all time. They're not the 70s Steelers defense. They're not the Cowboys.
The Iron Curtain.
Well, right.
And they're the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, the Steel Curtain.
Steel Curtain.
Yeah,
thanks.
close enough.
There
close
you go.
enough. Hey, you made a good attempt.
We've been talking politics.
You made a good attempt.
Hey, the Clydesdale horses are going to be in a commercial.
Well, Budweiser says they're not.
Well, now that Budweiser is out of the game, Sam Adams reimagines its iconic Clydesdales.
Yeah, that's not
wreaking havoc. So, that's it. That was, smart of Sam Adams.
Yeah,
because everybody will pay attention.
I'm sorry, it's not the Budweiser Clydesdales. Anyways, so yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come out on top in this game. Tom Brady has to recapture himself to be able to win this football game, because he's going to have to compete with probably one of the best premier quarterbacks of this era in Pat Mahomes. Mahomes just knows how to win, and he's not willing to sacrifice anything. I think this guy's going to leave everything on the field. And so
Right.
good luck with that. I expect Kansas City to put 40 points on the board.
Right.
Because, again, Tampa Bay's defense is not the 1985 Chicago Bears defense.
But they do have it. There's always, and this is something that can always be a game changer, and that is who is the hungriest. Just like I've said before, who is hungrier for that win? And does Tom Brady go in there and has he riled his guys up so much to say, "Hey, nobody ever expected us here. We're putting a win up on the board," and then those guys play emotionally and they bring every bit of their A game that they have, and then they eke out a win. Wouldn't this be
Right.
crazy? Maybe this is one of those Super Bowls that goes into overtime.
No.
You don't think so? So
No.
you think Kansas City clearly gets the upper hand, even though you've said it will be a good game.
Well, it's going to be a good game only because you're going to get to watch Goat and Baby Goat.
Yep.
I love that, by the way.
I know. I love that.
Now the owner of 2 pygmy goats.
I know. I know.
So-
hey, Leon.
Oh, he made it in.
Come on in.
Man, Leon, jump in that chair
Come
over
have
there.
a seat. We were just talking about the Venture X gig, so come on in and we'll talk about that a little more. Okay, so Super Bowl snacks. Super Bowl snacks.
Yeah.
Queso's always a good one.
Well, queso's like the all-timer.
It's what is your favorite Super Bowl snack that you've always got? There's a picture, and I need to cut and paste this. It is a what are they called? It's a super easy bacon cheddar football cheese ball. Basically, it is it's a football shaped cheese ball, which you can get those football shaped things at like Party City. And it looks like, here, I'll show you a picture, JP. I don't know if I can get this up on Switcher, if I can get a 9,000 pop-up ads, but look at it. They've decorated it with cheese and with nuts, like almonds and stuff, and they've got the laces, so it actually looks like a football that's cheese ball. That's kind of fun.
That's way fun.
That's kind of fun.
All right, so we're going to do this
Let's see,
and
what
kick
else?
this over.
Oh, loaded tater tot skewers. How cute. They're like tater tots and like a meat skewer. Like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Meat
Shish
skewer?
kebabs.
Oh, shish kebabs.
But they're tater tots, and they've got bacon and cheddar cheese all on the top. That's
Kathy,
kind of
that
fun.
makes me look at that and it makes me think the scale does this.
Oh, goodness gracious, yes.
From the girl who gave him my leftover donuts last Saturday.
Hey, don't be saying that.
Now, why'd you
Lisa?
do that? Why did you just do that?
Lisa,
See,
turn
no,
off the
It's
podcast.
done. I'm
Leon,
done.
really?
Really, I'm done.
Doggone it.
I'm done.
Kathy, why? He told you, don't tell Lisa. And what did you just do?
Well, I didn't tell her
From the
personally.
man I gave my box of donuts to. I'm like, really?
Oh, really?
I mean, my skin just
No.
crawled when you did
Okay.
that. Okay,
No.
we're shutting Kathy down.
Here's no. Actually, Leon said he's going to be doing these vegetable ranch dips.
Oh, yeah,
skewers.
nice try on the recovery.
Here's the picture Leon sent to me.
Yeah, you go to
Rainbow
hell for
veggie
lying.
dippers.
You'll go to hell for
Just
lying.
kidding.
You go to hell for lying.
So-
you
Those
may
are
not have to.
fun.
You may not have to stay there though.
You may not have to stay there. You get the visiting pass. You get the visitor's pass. Well, first of all, good morning to Leon Chastain. Thank you
Good
for
morning,
joining. One of
good
the owners here
morning.
at Venture X Studios that hosts JP Kathy and the crew and the JPKM Broadcasting Network. Of course, Leon, before we go on to Terry Scrivener, I do have
Joel
to say,
Scrivener.
or Joel Scrivener, sorry.
we were talking Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, we're talking Terry
earlier.
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
So before I go on to Joel Scrivener, though, I've got to say, my favorite Super Bowl food, man meat.
Man meat, huh?
Well,
I
what do you mean
love
by that?
man meat.
God,
So
you better really explain yourself, honey.
Why? Don't you love man meat? I love man
I'll
meat.
explain it to you after the show.
So ground pork with your favorite barbecue sauce and spices.
yeah,
Mix it all together.
yeah.
Then you take bacon and you intertwine bacon into a web. All right?
What?
Or like a basket.
Okay, I've never seen
Okay.
this.
You take pork sausage,
Yeah.
jalapeno, whatever you want.
Right?
Put that into your ground pork. Take chorizo. Put that into your
Oh,
ground
good
pork.
night. You're
Add
digesting
cheese.
for 10 days.
Oh, yeah. Add cheese. Take that loaf and put it in your webbed bacon that you've made, intertwining bacon.
Right?
You close that up like a basket and you put it in the oven and bake it.
Oh my gosh, like that. How long does it take to digest?
I don't care. I do it once a year at the Super Bowl.
And this is coming from a guy that's got baby donkeys in his house with diapers.
Baby
Baby donkeys.
That
Baby
my wife's
goats.
going, can I babysit for JP?
Yeah,
I said,
pygmy goats.
Baby
I am-
donkeys.
Get away
I am
from
dropping
me.
them off at Lisa's
No,
and
you're
yours when
not.
we go out
Hey,
of town.
Lisa,
You are not.
can.
I told
You're-
Lisa, I said, you could have pygmy goats. They're housebroken and everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
They're adorable.
Yeah,
They're
right.
So cute.
Yeah. The only thing that needs to be on my place is something that don't eat.
That's funny. So, favorite Super Bowl food, and then we're going to talk about Joel.
Favorite Super Bowl food got to be barbecue and some good, or homemade tamales.
Oh, no, there you go.
For sure.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Tex-Mex always comes up. Like, I always think of two of my favorite things. Well, first of all, I love deer chili. If somebody has venison chili, a deer chili at a Super Bowl party, that's my first go-to. But I always love fresh guacamole that's really good and has a lot of lime in it. And then also just your traditional queso and chips. You just can't go wrong with that.
So I don't have any deer meat.
Okay.
But I'm out. We've ate it
Doggone
all.
it.
Doggone it. But yeah. But Lisa makes one of the best chilies you'll ever eat in your life.
Oh, I believe it.
And so you need to get her. We get together before it gets cold. Hot starts to get
Yep.
hot. We make chili and hang out on the back patio and
Oh,
go
that
on
would
the fire.
be good. Oh, that would
You would
be
enjoy that.
So
You guys
good.
would enjoy that.
Love chili.
Yeah,
Love
for
chili.
sure.
So, let's talk Joel Scrivener. We've already pushed it. Michelle's already said that she doesn't think she's got a game that night. So, I think she's going to come up here on February 11th. We've talked about his audio book that you get with a ticket. Man, tell me about this guy. I mean, this guy is energetic. He looks like he fires you up.
Yeah, a lot. It's amazing. We've sent this out to probably 3,500, 4,000 emails, and we've had so far, JP, about 160 open, and we've only had 2 tickets bought. I'm being as transparent as there can be, and it hit me on the way coming in.
Right.
I want to share about him and talk about him too, but I want to wrap around something. So first of all, here's a guy, 4-time world champion, fought in one of the first athletes to ever fight for the U.S. in Russia when it all happened in its day. Coached Whole Foods, La Madeleine's. He coaches a doctor's group now. He's coaching a young guy in his early 20s, just sold 2 businesses. And I mean, he's an incredible guy.
Yeah.
So the one thing he doesn't talk a lot about is because corporate America sometimes can be judgy. He also pastors a strong church. Been a pastor there it's called Oaks Church out of McKinney.
Right.
And has about 500 members. What is so cool about Joel, I think, is he walks in 2 opportunities. He walks in the apostolic side, but he also knows what it takes to be able to step over and walk in corporate America to bring the A game on both sides of the deal.
Love it.
And I think, and his story is he's got, if you came and you really get his book, from losing a daughter to his marriage staying together, to be able to take you through 9 steps of winology, it's an incredible, in my opinion, opportunity night. So, I was sitting here, JP and Kathy, and I was thinking on the way in, how do you take a guy that this is his 10th Super Bowl appearance, and he went to a team a year ago that
wasn't even on the radar.
Wasn't even on the radar. And he was able to go there and be the guy that dropped the rope out of the helicopter. And what he's been able to do is pull that team up.
Yeah.
But he's also been able to mentor backwards and be able to teach them to push the rope while he's pulling the rope.
Right.
And so what I really think is a secret to Tom Brady is he knows when to let go of the rope.
Yep.
Because the people that are dragging him down.
A good leader knows that.
Right. And so that's what I believe. If you come on February the 11th, you're going to get a few things. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be some food. And then you're going to walk away with an audible book that night.
Which is fantastic.
That is an opportunity to hear a world-class leader, athlete speak at this event. Yep. And here at Venture X, we're COVID friendly. We social distance.
Absolutely.
We ask you to wear your mask in the open areas.
Right.
So we're very excited about all the opportunities that are going on here at Venture X with our team, but not only being able to have a privilege for somebody like this, he normally gets $500 an hour for his coaching time minimum.
This is one of those things you can't afford this on a regular basis necessarily.
Right.
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to see somebody like this
for $25. I mean, to come in, get in the door. So, and if somebody's struggling in your business and you're really having a bad time, and and you can't afford $25. Call me, get in touch with me. We'll get you in the door.
Out.
We'll work something out. But for that night, I think everybody ought to be there.
Yep.
Agree. I agree, and I mean, I would really love to see a good showing from the crew come out and be a part of this February 11th adventure. I mean, let Joel take us down this road, and I mean, the book I've started reading when you sent me the link, and I just can't recommend enough being here and catch up on what is Winology.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate that. We're going to try to start doing something here every month. The founder of DMI Holdings is going to do a March event here talking on learning how to invest in multifamily apartment complexes, real estate, so every month for this year, 2021, we're going to be trying to bring in a classy speaker, that's somebody that really is an expert in their field.
And bring them on the show, too, so we can promote the events as well.
We will.
These are things, the members of the crew, these are, entrepreneurial types, very successful businessmen and women. Would just love to have them on the show, too.
Well, one of the things that I think that jumped Kathy Venture X's presence is when you guys came through and you guys started to be here. And so we just wanted to say thank you for letting us slide on this morning. Thank you for letting us talk about this event. And we just wanted to honor you guys as well for the work that you guys have done here.
And as a matter of fact, our JP, Kathy, and the crew hats that JP and I wear that people have asked about, that was a gift from our friend Leon. We love these.
Well, we
do. Love these. They're awesome.
And JP will sign one for $1,000, and
there you go.
The $1,000 donation, we'll donate it to the Wounded Warriors in Frisco.
There you go.
There you go.
Absolutely will. Yeah. All right, Leon, where do I go? People to sign in to become a part of Winology on February 11th.
Venture X Frisco webpage. It's there.
Yep.
It's on the website.
I'm going to put this in also on y'all's Facebook page. I know.
I think it's on the Facebook page as well. Yes, ma'am.
So do we have to sign in? Because I'm on the site now.
Yeah, you have to click the ticket and buy a ticket, and it takes you to Eventbrite, and then you click that, and it allows you to buy the ticket at that spot.
Gotcha.
And share it out on your Facebook page. Share it in Messenger if you don't want to put something public on your page. This is a great event and a great opportunity. Here we go.
Yeah, I told somebody the other day, I went and did a live Facebook post, and I said to all my friends, and then I realized I had 2 friends. So, yeah, so social media hadn't been my deal, So
that's funny. I've got two friends.
And my wife isn't one of them, So,
Well, she's been married to you for a while.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me. She wouldn't join my Facebook page. No, just kidding. But yeah, I think if you show up as a business owner,
I've got the link on our social media feed right now.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Got it out there.
It's just it's one of the deals that one of the things that I think that Kathy, you guys have touched on Medical Mondays, on being mentally state of mind.
Right.
I mean, when you come into a situation like this, that you're coming in here. I read an article a couple months ago that they said most CEOs, top CEOs, will try to attend 4 to 6 events a year. They'll average spending over $10,000 a year going to events looking for one word, one line that could change their world for the next year.
Absolutely. That brings them $1 million versus $10,000.
Yeah, and so, I just think that, I heard somebody, and it was a very weird situation a couple days ago. I have a 33-year-old son.
Right.
And I got and he called me crying that his grandmother had died, and it was my ex-wife's mother.
Right.
And he asked me to come be a pallbearer.
Oh, wow.
And it was at my ex-wife's mother's funeral. And Lisa goes, that's kind of weird, but I said, I've got to go stand beside my son and hold him up.
I'm doing this for my son.
This for my son.
Absolutely.
And so my wife's uncle happened to be doing the funeral. He was their pastor for numbers of years. And I learned something sitting there. He said something that he goes, so many people refer to God in the third person
Right.
instead of actually speaking to God and actually having a
Directly.
relationship.
And having that conversation.
And it triggered my mind that so many business owners have been saying, I'm going to fix this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Right.
And they're talking about it almost in a third person, that they never really talk to the situation, they're talking about the situation.
That's an interesting analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that when we really dig down into a lot of the thoughts that went on in
Right.
2020,
it was tough.
you know,
it was tough.
I almost think COVID and a lot of things happened is it was like this roadblock was put up there, and we got lost in a ball like high weeds, out in
Yes.
high weeds. And I think Joel Scribner and what's going to go on February the 11th if somebody's struggling, it's going to help at least get you back on the path.
Well, and he said, and I love this, he said, how to reclaim and realign the vision that 2020 hijacked. And for so many of us, we did have to make this paradigm shift. And some of us are still coming out of that. So why not get advice for $25 from somebody who is saying, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, 2020 was hijacked, but take it back.
Yeah, most people, when you reclaim the vision that
love
was
that.
hijacked, if you go look in the mirror, I think everybody's got 20 pounds from 2020 COVID that they need to get rid of.
Even that part.
Yeah, if you could come to an event and learn how to get your vision back and
Absolutely.
speak to the problem, is what you put in your mouth. I'm guilty.
What
know?
is the COVID 20? Everybody's like the
The
freshman,
COVID 20.
The freshman 15. Everybody's like the COVID 20.
Yeah, really. So thank you guys for letting me slide in
my
this.
goodness.
No, you're right. You're going to take us
We
right
love
out
you,
the door.
Leon. We love you.
So, again, February the 11th, Venture X, 6 to 8 p.m., beer, wine, food, great speaker, and an audio book with your ticket. So now I need to find out how many friends I have. You have 2.
I have 2.
I will see if I can get 2.
and let's see if it's the same two.
Well, right. I may get a message.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're friends with Leon, too. I've already bought
Sorry, I
my
already
ticket.
told Leon, yes. Go pound sand,
Leon,
JP.
if you and I end up with the same 2 friends, we're in trouble, brother.
We need to
That's
check.
just funny.
I asked a guy the other day
That's
to say,
funny.
hey, would you refer me somebody in business? And he goes, I ain't got no friends. I said, well, you need to change your friend group.
From none to another
Yeah,
friend group.
yeah,
Yeah. Amen to that. But no, get
That's
out here.
funny.
Join us on February 11th. Joel Scribner, live,
Yeah.
Live.
Live. in
live.
person, in flesh. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
So come out and join
Love
us.
it.
We are JP, Kathy, and the crew. Enjoy your Super Bowl weekend.
And speaking of Super Bowls,
Yes.
happy birthday to Roger Staubach.
Why not happy birthday to me?
His birthday too. Oh, your birthday. You just turned. You're just young at 49, but that was already a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Today's Roger Staubach's
Oh,
birthday. We
that's
love
why.
Roger Staubach. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you still love Dallas. You still love Roger.
well, that's true.
Oh.
And again,
Oh, the
here's the big
70s.
question. Does Tampa's defense compare to the 85 Bears,
Can't
to the steel
wait.
curtain of the 70s, or to that Dallas Cowboys defensive line?
Can't wait to talk about
Only
that
God
Monday.
knows.
Only God knows, and we're going to find out on Sunday.
Find out Sunday.
All right, everybody have a blessed
Love y'all.
weekend. Be safe out there,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.